but we just kind of break things down and go a little slower, a little more explanation. So let's just start with little side taps, little aerobics. So you can move at your pace. You can take things slower. You can always pick things up. So we're going to do what's called a hamstring curl. So you're going to bend your knee, kicking your rear. So what we're doing here is we're starting to work our glutes a little bit on the side. We're also working the hamstrings, trying to keep your knee down towards the ground and the feet wide. The other thing that's happening here is we're stretching out the thigh, the quad muscles. We do a lot of sitting, making them short. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to march. So next is called high knee. So you're going to pick the knee up higher, like you're driving it into your chest. So once again, these will maybe be a little slower than a march because you're trying to get more range of motion. But you can also go quite quick. An interesting fact is your psoas muscle that's connecting your lower back to your thigh bone kind of funnels through your hip, and it's got a big responsibility for doing this action. So if you really struggle with this, you could have a weak psoas. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. You're gonna just shake your legs. Shaky, shaky, like you're on a little vibrating plate. So I'm bending my knees really quick, trying to make my butt jiggle, trying to make my thighs jiggle. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It happens too easy for me too. Jiggle, wiggle, wiggles. So we're just trying to relax the muscles that just kind of work there. We're also increasing blood flow by doing this. We're also creating a little relaxation without a stretch. We're also kind of waking ourselves up. And relax. So we're going to do shoulder shrugs. So shoulders come up towards the ears and then slowly lower. You want to try to get this controlled and go big range up and all the way down. You want to almost feel like you're creating a stretch as you lower the shoulders down. Working this, your trap muscle. Your trap muscle is a very big muscle in your back, but most people know traps as being this big stuff right here that everybody goes, rub right here, rub, rub. This is where I have pain right here. That's basically kind of the top part of your trap muscle. All right, we're going to bend the elbows like this, and we're going to bring the hands to touch, and we're trying to bring the elbows to touch. Then we're going to bring them all the way open, squeeze the shoulder blades together, press the chest open, and then we repeat this. Hands together, elbows come together, stretch, open, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So we're working on mobility through the shoulder, getting a stretch, and doing a little bit of strengthening at the same time because you want to feel a little squeeze. We're squeezing, a little press, and then when we go back, squeeze the shoulder blades. Last one, finishing it out with the back bend there and relax. Shoulder rolls. Now reverse your shoulder roll. All right, we're going to take a side stretch. I'm going to do the mirror image. So I'm going to put my right hand, but you're putting your left hand on your hip. Your right hand's going to go up into the air. You're going to reach over onto the side. You're going to put all your weight onto your left foot. You're going to point that right foot out to the side. Hold this here. Starting our first set of balance, right? So keep the toe down, but we're starting it here. And change. Reaching up, put all the weight into that right foot. You got your left toe just kind of tapping out there. And coming back to center. Now we're going to add a squat into this. So you're going to reach over, same reach, all the way into your left foot. And then you're going to step down, bend the knees, and you're going to bring this elbow, see if you can touch the thigh. And then repeat. reaching up and over, squat it down, touch elbow to thigh. Reaching up and squat, this is 3. Reaching, 4, and 5. You got 3 more. 6, 7, and 8. Nice job. Other side. You're going to reach over, put all the weight into that right foot, and then squat it down, tap the elbow 1. Reach, tap it 2. Reach, tap it 3. Nice slow control for 4. Get down low. That's it. Go down for 5. You have 3 more. Easy peasy. 6. Control, mind body awareness. 7. And 8. Nice job. Shake out those legs. All right, hip circles. So I'm going to have you take it with the inside circle first. So bring the leg across and up and around, and then switch in, up, and around. Then we're going to reverse this hip circle in a minute. So just going from in and open out, in, open out. This is also warming us up for balance exercise. In Total Body Fitness for Beginners, we do a lot of standing balance. We're also always working hip mobility, strength, and core. All right, so now we're going to reverse that. You're like, how do I do that? It's a little bit more awkward, I think. So you're going to start with the leg out to the side and circling around and landing, and then out to the side, circling around and landing. So my feet are more straight and together. Put the weight, turn the leg out, lift it up, circle it across, and then land. And then I turn the toe out, knee out, lift up, circle it across, and land. Up and across and land. And lift out to the side, and then across the body and land. Yeah. Out and across and land. Out and across and land. Not easy, right? One more. Last one. Nice job. Arms are going to come open to a T. You can take the palms up and as far back as you can go. This is rotating at the shoulder bone and at the elbow and at the wrist. And then you're going to slowly rotate as far backwards and up towards the ceiling as you can go. Internal rotation with all those joints. Going again, all the way up and back best you can, and rotating back and up. So just depending on your body, how flexible your shoulders are, how your wrists and your elbows will depend on how far you can go with this. There's no right or wrong. We just want to get to where we feel like there's a stop or resistance without forcing it past that point. That's basically the key for all your exercises. It's finding that full range without too much excessiveness, right? I'm not going to mess up my posture by trying to get more. I'm going to stay upright and just go to where I feel the stop. By this time, you should start to feel the top of the shoulder, which is called your deltoid, start to work here. Deltoid's got a frontal and it's got a mid top and then a back. We try to work all of those as well. Feeling it yet? Okay, just check in because I did arms and core, so I felt it as soon as I brought my arms up to the side. It was like, yes, hello, you already worked. And relax. Okay, so that was a lot of tension. So one of the things I like to do is release the tension. And my new favorite is swinging the arms, kind of letting them flop and hit your body. So I'm turning, twisting, letting them flop and hit my body, relaxing the arms, feeling all of the muscles, just relax, using my core body to help me turn. All right, next up, we're going to lengthen out the hamstrings by doing what's called a good morning. So it's a fairly easy stretch / strengthen. Your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart with a slight bend, but more straight than slight bend or bend. more straight, but with a slight bend. How about that? You're gonna fold over, but here's the key, is I actually feel like I'm gonna take my butt to the wall behind me. I'm gonna keep my back flat as I hinge. Now, once again, I'm gonna stop when I start to even begin to feel the stretch in the back of the legs and then come up. And each time I go, maybe it will loosen and I might be able to eventually get my back flat to the floor, parallel, flat, straight out, parallel. That's as far as you're gonna go, okay? But if you only go to here, you feel the stretch, that's fine. I like the hands to the hips as the first step. Okay, doing that a few times. Keep moving. Keep a softness in your knees. That's right, that way you're not locking them out. We want to keep a softness in the knees. And then to make it more challenging, you can bring your arms open to a T or up over the head is going to be really tough. So it all depends on how strong your hamstrings are. But remember, flat back is most important here. So try not to round and let the back round like this. Okay, we want the back flat, even if we only go part way down. I feel like I've got my arms spread wide and my body is straight as can be. Okay. Arms either open to a T or up over the head. Over the head definitely becomes hard because it starts to round the spine. So just be careful with this. A little more softness in your knees, Jennifer. Keep them bent. 2 more. And last one. Nice job. Shake out the legs like this. Now you're just going to kind of kick and shake, kick and shake. So the first one we did was like a vibrating plate. Now we're doing a kick shake. Okay. All right. Let's go continue with arm movements. So let's get a weight that you can do a bicep curl. I'm going to probably say it's going to be pretty heavy. So 5s or more would be what I would recommend, unless you have a bicep issue or a tendon issue in your bicep. You have many different variations of bicep curls, but the most important thing, no matter what your hands are doing, is that when you bend at the elbow, you're trying to keep the elbow tucked in and straight down towards the floor versus letting them come up like this, okay? So I'm going to let them come down and pull up, trying not to move this upper arm bone. We're going to start with the hammer style. So I start with them on my legs, softness in the knees, strong stomach. Okay, pretend somebody's coming and poking you in the belly. And then you're going to bend at the elbows and tap it down to the legs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, do 2 more, 9, and 10. Now, if you felt like at the 10 that it was starting to be hard, you probably have the right weight set. But if you were like, I got to 10, I really didn't even feel anything, and I could have probably done another 10 or 20, you probably are, it's time to go up a little heavier, okay? So if you feel like you need to go heavier, go grab them, because we're gonna do another set of 10. Here we go. Anybody? No takers? Here we go. Nobody's getting other ones. All right. There we go. 1. And if you got to stop short and do 8 or 6, that's fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nice. 8, 9, and 10. Nice job. You're going to put your weights down. All right, next we're going to do what's called a WY. So I'm going to bend the elbows like I'm doing like a bicep curl, but I'm going to bring the arms open out like this. So if you look at my body shape, I look like I'm creating a W. W. Yes, W. If my hands come in like this, I lose my W, right? I don't look like a W anymore. Now I look like a W. And what does a Y look like? We should all know this because of the YMCA. From the Village People from the 70s. Everybody knows the song, and if you don't, well, I will play it for you someday and I'll do the dance. So you're going to bring the arms up to a Y shape, right? So Y and W, keeping the elbows away from the body and the hands out away from your shoulders. So we don't want to come in here, right? We want to keep it out. Y, W, Y, W, Y, M, C, A, da, 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 Y, M, C, A, da, 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 da. I don't know how the rest of it goes. So hopefully you're feeling your shoulders working. The other thing you're working here is your biceps. So you don't even need weights to get an arm workout, okay? But we are going to do this with light weights, but not yet. We're going to change it up. Couple more. Woo! I only got one more. You got one more. Nice job. Shake out those arms. Now we're just going to shake, 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 shake. Relax those arms. Feel a little bit like a fool here, but shake them hard, shake them, relax them. Yeah, shake, 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 shake. I know. All right, next up, we are going to do what's called a bent over row. No, let's do a bent over fly. Yes, bent over fly is going to be better. So your feet are going to be underneath your hips and you're going to bend your knees a little bit. You're going to hinge to a flat back, which is why we did the good morning. We did the good morning so that we could get into this position without any issue. From here, you're going to keep the belly in strong. Okay, I've just got it tight. My arms are going to hang straight down. I'm going to keep my neck long. And I'm going to bring my arms open to a T. Now, I don't want them too high up towards my head. If anything, I want to air slightly down towards my hips and then lower back down. Stand up. So a little flatter back, okay? So no roundness, no rounding like this. We want to be flat back. So you got to work the core and you're going to bring the arms out. Now, when you add weights to this, you're actually going to think a little bit of a bent elbow like that. So it's going to, if I'm doing it from, if you see me from the front, my arms are going to come out to the side, but see the little bend in my elbow? The arms are going to straighten, but I kind of have a smidge of bend elbow. Okay, you really want to feel your upper back, bent knees, strong core, upper back and back of the arms, shoulders working. You're breathing out when you lift the weights. I think you guys have probably 5 or 6 more. 4, 3, exhale 2, and 1. Nice job. Stand up. Woo. So that's strengthening your entire spine. Okay. The upper back between your shoulder blades and the shoulder blades, the back part of the arm here, lower back, core, glutes, and hamstrings. Okay. All those things we're working there. All right. Next, back to the WY with your weights. Okay. We're going to see if we can make 10 happen. I'm going to probably make 2 happen. All right. So you guys do what you need to do. So we're going to start in that W. So the weights are open. The elbows are away from the body. Pushing up to a Y, keep the shoulders down away from your ears and bend back down for 1. Pushing, 2. Slow control, 3. You've got this for 4. I've got 5. Look at me go. Can't believe I'm doing it. 6. You got 4 more. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Nice job. Relax those arms. Now, if you were getting sharp stabbing pain in one shoulder, you probably have a little shoulder impingement, or you might have some, some sort of tear somewhere, or inflammation or tendonitis. So either go without a weight, okay, or maybe you don't do a full Y. Maybe you do a W to cactus, okay? So you've got to move in the range where you have no sharp stabbing pains. And you usually know if it's one side worse than the other, like, significantly. But if it's just like, okay, it's pretty uncomfortable on both because I feel the fire burn and I'm breaking down the muscle, That's what we're looking for. We're trying to find that. Okay. All right, we're going to go back to the bent over flies again. Yay, us. So bend the knees about hip width distance apart, belly in, flat, flat back. Little softness with the elbows so that you're leading with the back of the arm. Swing them out to the side and lower back down. 2, 3. When you're lifting up, you're breathing out for 4. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. Exhale, 8. If you got 2 more, good for you. 9 and 10. Nice job. You're going to put your weights down. You're going to get your slider. We're going to work the hip joint. This is our half circle standing. You're going to put all your weight in your left foot. You're going to put the slider on your right and point the foot forward. You're going to take the legs straight. Both legs are straight. You're going to go out to the side, all the way behind, as far as you can go. Squeeze your tushy. Yes, the balance is hard here. And then swing it back out to the side and bring it in front. See if you can bring it across the body today. Most of the time we just stop here, but if we can go across the body, you're going to get that inner thigh work as well. So sweep it back behind, squeezing, and then bring it back and a little cross in front. Hold that balance. That's the hardest part. And then bring it out. And then bring it back in front. Crisscross, holding that balance. And then go. And hold, squeeze. And sweep. Let's go one more round. And last one. And slowly release. We're going to switch to the other leg. So the leg you're standing on is also kind of important. So we're always trying to work on fixing postural issues, and it starts at the feet. So if you normally, like I used to really bad, stand with my feet out like this. I was a ballet dancer and professional dancer and gymnast, and I had such a bad turnout. I would stand like this, walk like this. But I had to correct it. And so when you're trying to balance, you want to make sure that your foot is straight forward. Some people are pigeon-toed and they might walk more like this with the heels kicked out and the toes inward. Same thing, you want to try to stand with your toes straight forward and then work this balance trick. Squeezing, go far behind you, squeeze the glute. We're trying to get a little bit more range this time. Okay, without letting the hips do too much rotation, just making it about that thigh bone, rolling around in the socket. There's a gentle pressure into your slider. When you're bringing it across the body, feel the inner thighs. Little squeeze. You've got, they say a walnut. Gonna squeeze your walnut, crack your walnut, darlings. Gonna put it between your thighs and crack it away. I don't know about that. I don't think I could crack a walnut with my thighs. I've got pretty strong thighs, but a walnut is pretty dang hard. You got 2 more. And when you're finished with your last one, you're gonna give your hips a break. You're gonna grab your ball. Take some side bends. So bringing your feet right underneath your hips, straight toes, parallel and forward. We're gonna reach the ball up. You're gonna side bend to the right. So bring your ball over to the right side. Hips are moving to the left. And then come through center, side bend. Yes. And coming through center, side bend. So now we're working what's called the side obliques, right? The side of your waist. So you're stretching here. However, this is the side doing the work. So you're strengthening that side in a lengthened state. You'll see in a little bit when we lie down on the floor how we're going to strengthen that and shorten it. Okay, doing a similar movement called a banana. Okay, so this is basically a banana, but it's completely different because the side that we're going to be strengthening on the floor is going to be the shorter side, not the longer side. Alrighty, finishing out your sides. And then coming to center, you're going to bring the ball back behind you. We're going to stretch the shoulders. I'm just holding on to it like this, and I'm going to lift it up behind. As far as you can go. I've got lots of rotation through my shoulders, so your shoulders may not look anything like mine. That whole gymnast thing, I used to be able to do crazy things with my shoulders. Oh my God. Oh my God. And my hips. Oh my God. And relax. Nice. All right, you're going to place the ball between your knees, and you're going to try to squeeze that ball. Bring your feet as close as you can, getting a little squeeze. Nice. Now you're going to sit into an invisible chair. So you're going to bend your knees and rise up. So this is positioning for narrow squat. Once again, look at your toes. Make sure they're straight forward and parallel. And you're going to bend your knees and straighten. Before you even bend your knees, though, you want to make sure your feet are in pretty close and pretty tight. When you bend the knees, you're going to feel some of the tension come off the ball. I'm not trying to squeeze it now. I'm just using it as a spacer. And then stand up. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. My butt goes back. I'm going to try to keep my spine straight and flat and come up. And even when I come up, I may not even go straight all the way. That's like too relaxed. We want to kind of always be in our ready go. 1. You're going to breathe out when you stand up. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Nice. Remove your ball. So that was primarily working your thighs and your glutes. Now we're going to do another squat, but it is called the goddess squat, or the second position, or the horse stance squat. All of the above work. You're going to go wide with your feet and turn your toes out now. You're going to bend the knees. Now this time there's no bending forward. You're going to stay upright. This is why they call it second position, because this is what you do in ballet class. You stay upright, shoulders stay right, you go lower down like an elevator, but you're pushing your knees backwards. Okay? You see now why I used to walk like this? I spent my entire life doing nothing but pliés with the feet together, pliés with the legs apart, pliés here and pliés here, all turned out in that position. But what's interesting, besides you working your thighs, you're working your inner thighs, your adducting muscles, ADD, ductors, okay? You're also building strength in your knees, of course. You're working the ankles, you're working your core. The lower you go, the harder it is. So you know for yourself, if you get sharp stabbing pains in your knees, you don't go very low. If you can go way low, you go way low. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake out the legs. Grab your ball. You already don't have it. And we're just going to press and hold that press. So now we are working the biceps, the pectoral muscles, and we're just trying to compress that ball, press the air out. Press. Hold it here. Smile. So this is called an isometric strengthening of the shoulder because we are holding it versus moving it. Okay, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Ooh, shoulders, shaky, 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 shaky. All right, you're gonna take one arm and you're gonna swoop it around, kind of bend over, move it around, let it kind of flop around. This is your release. And then other side, flop it around, circle it around, whatever feels, whatever kind of naturally goes. Your body kind of knows. All right, let's talk about this balance. You're going to take the ball to a knee. You're going to lift this knee up high. You're gonna press down into the ball and you're gonna try to push the ball with your knee. Looks a little bit like this. You're gonna lift the knee, hands to the top. I'm pressing down at the same time I'm resisting by pushing the knee up as if I'm trying to take that air right out of the ball. Try to hold there for 5 counts. 4, 3, 2, and rest. Whew. So that's really intense. That's the side, that's your hip flexor, that's your core. Other side, you're gonna lift it up. Then you start to press down. Start pressing the knee higher, harder. Press, press, press for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let you guys go. All right, let's try it one more time. Now, if you're like my hip flexors, that was just too much pain there, you can also do it with the reverse, meaning you're going to put the ball underneath the knee and squeeze. Now, this is the same thing. You're still working the hip flexor, but now you're going to work the hamstring a little bit as well and hold this for 5 counts. You can choose the pressure down, which is harder. Okay, that's harder, or you can do the squeeze. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switchy, switchy. Lifting the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Get your mat out. And remember when we were doing the side bends? Yes, the standing side bends. And I said, this is like what we're gonna do on the floor. Well, we're about to do what's on the floor. So you're gonna lie on your side, face whichever way you like. Any side will do. Keep your ball with you. Okay, so pretend you're standing up, right? So your legs are gonna be straight, right underneath your hips, and you're all the way down on your shoulder. Okay, so I'm in what I would call a pencil shape. Okay, all the way down, feet stacked, legs straight. I'm rolling up on the side of my hip. I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna just put it down on the floor. I'm gonna take that elbow up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna lift my head. I'm gonna feel the side neck muscles work. From here, you're gonna try to lift both feet together. You're trying to use the side oblique. It's now in the shortened state instead of the lengthened state. You can apply pressure into your ball to work around your shoulder and your pectoral. Just make sure that you don't push and roll yourself backwards so that your belly is up, okay? We're actually going to try to stay more forward, lift the legs more behind you, working more of your glutes, your lower back and side, versus taking the feet up and working the front body and core, okay? Not that that's wrong, we're just doing a different exercise. And rest, nice job. All right, other side. So you can either sit up or roll over, come all the way down onto the shoulder with the arm out in front of you or slightly bent. Legs straight, slightly behind you. You're gonna put the ball down and roll forward a little bit towards the ball. From here, lift your head, feel the neck muscles work. Then lift both legs, see if you can keep the feet together. You can apply more pressure into the ball, but just make sure you're rolling forward, kicking the legs up and slightly back. 4, 3, 2, and rest. Nice job. Come onto your back. You guys are super strong today. You're gonna place the ball between your knees and place your feet down on the ground. All right, this is setting you up for bridge. I'm not really gonna try to squeeze the ball here. It's just a spacer at this point. My hands are gonna go down by my sides with my palms facing the floor, arms straight. You wanna feel a lot of space between your shoulders and your ears. The first thing you're gonna do is start to imprint your lower back into the mat by pressing it into it. So use your abs to press your lower back. You'll feel your pelvis start to tilt. Keep that tilt, squeeze your glutes, and lift your hips up a little bit off the floor. Now, maybe you can go a little bit higher, but try not to lose too much ab strength. Where some people kind of go, I'm not gonna say wrong, but they start to relax their stomach and then lift their hips up way high, and they're not using their abs anymore. Now they're using their back muscles, their lower back muscles, and their glutes. And I would like to see you use your front muscles and your glutes, your front ab muscles and your glutes. It's just different. And lower back down. All right, let's try it again. Pressing the lower back into the mat. Squeeze your abs like you're doing a little sit-up. Then press into your feet to lift your hips, squeeze the glutes. Keep the abs working. I feel like there's a little bit of a pelvic tilt, meaning that my ribs are close to the front of my hip bones. And then slowly lower down. Good. Now, if you feel like you've got a handle on that, you can take the arms straight up towards the ceiling, and we'll do the bridge now with no arms. Press the lower back into the mat. Feel a little crunch, tilting the pelvis, press into your feet, squeeze your glutes as you lift them up, keep the stomach tight, keeping the ribs towards the hip bones. And slowly lower down. Arms, you're going to take them up over your head to a stopping point. Feel a stretch. Bring the arms back up towards the ceiling. Lift both legs up. This is going to be tabletop, reverse tabletop, or also known as dead bug. That's right, dead bug. You look a little bit like a cockroach that has died because he flips over and his little legs are poking in the air. You're going to squeeze your ball 10 times. Press your lower back into the mat first, getting a little bit more ab activation. Inner thighs squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Remove your ball, place your feet down onto the mat, open your knees, bring the soles of the feet together, and stretch your inner thighs, hip flexors. This is called Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly, or reclined bound angle pose. It's commonly done in yoga. Bring your legs back together. You're going to lift your hips up to put the ball underneath your bum, okay? So up as high as you can go. Ball's going to go underneath, not your lower back, but on your tushy or on your hip bones. And then arms by your sides, straight by your sides, palms down for balance. Both legs are going to go into the air. Straight up, point and flex your feet. So now we're stretching, getting some ankle mobility. However, you've got to work a little bit of balance. I know I feel like a little circus performer here. I feel like I'm going to go to Las Vegas and be in the Cirque du Soleil show. There's going to be a little gymnast or something on my feet doing some sort of acrobatic trick, and we have to balance 50 feet in the air. It'll be so much fun. All right, toes are pointed, so toes towards the ceiling, and we're going to split the legs. So you're going to bring your right leg forward towards your leg or towards your face, and your left leg is going to lower down towards the foot of the mat. You can bend your left knee a little bit to get the heel to tap down if possible. Your abs should be working here. You should feel that there's a little bit of ab tightening to give yourself support. And then slowly bring the legs back together to neutral. Now we're going to change sides. So left leg comes forward first, straight, pointed toe, getting a hamstring stretch. And then slowly lower the right leg down to the mat. You can bend your right knee a little bit so you can rest your heel down. Bring both legs together. Flex your feet. Open the legs to a wide V, getting an inner thigh stretch. Both legs straight up into the air. Bend your knees into your chest. Figure 4 stretch. Both legs go straight up. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, opening the knee. Then from here, you're going to bring your knees close to your chest. So the left knee is going to bend, and I'm trying to bring my right leg as close to my chest as I can. Without force, just letting gravity and the ball, the tilting of the pelvis help you get there. And then slowly release. Change legs, left ankle cross, opening the knee, and then slowly begin to bend your right knee in towards your shoulders or chest. Feeling a generous stretch in your hips, in your glutes. Both legs go straight up into the air. Bend your knees, place your feet down onto the ground. Lift your hips to take your ball and remove. Draw your knees into your chest. Feel your spine go flat on the floor. You're going to slowly make your way up to seated. So if you would like to roll up or roll over onto a side, cross your legs, easy seat, sitting up tall. Bring your chin to your chest. Slight roll to the right, getting a stretch through the neck. And slowly change, other side. And coming to center. Nice job, guys. You are done. Glad to have you here today. Yeah. No, thank